Hello, I'm Dragos, and in this video we're going to check the new Google Agent Development Kit. Basically, yesterday Google released an agentic framework that can be used to build agents, and it has a lot of interesting, nice features. In the past, I've played around with Agno framework, same that can help you build agents, but since yesterday I wanted to see what the Google Agent Development Kit has to offer, and basically this is their website in here, and to install it you just need to run the pip install and the Google ADK from Agent Development Kit, and you have a lot of nice documentations in here that can be used to get you started. So yeah, I have taken a look of the tutorials, and the agents are quite easy to use. They have also a nice UI that can help you chat with the agent easily. We're going to see all of these things. So in here you see that you can go and check the installation, the quick start, so you can see how you can build your first agent. In this video we're going to install it, we're going to create our first agent, we're going to add memory to the agent, we're going to add search with Tavli, and we're going to see how our agent will work. We're not going to use only the Google models, we are going to use also an OpenRouter model to work with this. So yeah, basically in this video you should have a feeling of what the Google AI agent has to offer. And in here you see you can create the agents, you have the LLM agent, and basically the code is quite easy to use. Like this, you are defining your agent with name, with description. You can have also the instruction in here. So this is similar with the other things. You can add the different models to them with the help of with the help of Light LLM. If you don't know Light LLM, it's an framework that can help you chat with any LLM package you want. I've created some video in the past of how you can deploy it in Docker also, but basically this is an tool that can help you chat with various LLMs, and you have like more than 100 LLMs that you can use. You can create also failovers in case something is not working to use another one and things like that. Another thing, Tavli, it's an web search tool that it can be called through API that can help you search the web. We are going to add this functionality to our agent, and in the end, after we're going to build our first agent, we're going to integrate also OpenRouter. If you don't know OpenRouter, it's an portal that can help you chat with different models. I have created also a video in the past with OpenRouter. I will add the link to the description for that. But in here you have like a lot of free models that can be used. You have also their top model, Quasar, it's called Quasar Alpha, that you can use for free to work with LLMs. We're going to use this also for our agent. We're going to see how we can do all of these things. Of course, in the beginning you will need to have an AI Studio account, because you are gonna need the API key to chat with this. So basically, if you don't know AI Studio, it's the Google, let's say, chat interface, and in here you have the options to get an API key for this. You can use their model for free in the beginning if you want. So you see in here that, for instance, this Gemini 2.5 Pro preview, it can be used with 25 requests per day freely. You have also other models in here. This one, for instance, again, you have a lot of free requests per day that you can use. Also, you see that you have like 1,500 requests per day with Gemini 2.Flash. So you can create an account if you don't have with Google AI Studio, because we are going to use this in the beginning to, I don't know, chat with our agent. And I have created 2 articles already on my site of how you can start working with Google Agent Development Kit. The first one is to install it and use it, and the second one is to integrate the OpenRouter with Light LLM. The first thing that we're going to do is to go and install everything so we can start building our first agent with the Google agent development kit. So this video, it will not be cut. We are just going to see all of the details. Of course, this is a quite new framework. I don't know everything. I've just played around with it, but I wanted to share what I've discovered and how you can build it. In here we have a nice introduction, and in here you have the prerequisites that you will need to have. Basically, you will need to have Python installed on your laptop or PC. You need to have UV installed. I've created videos with all of these things, so you can go and check them. I will let the link into the description. You need to have the Google AI Studio in here. You have to have the Tavily for searching the web, and we're going to use the text editor ID. In our case, I'll use something based on VS Code for this. And yeah, right now we should go and configure everything and see how this is working. So in here I've let the details of how you can install UV if you don't have it already installed in there. So the first thing that we're going to do is to go and initiate a project with UV. I will go into the terminal and create my ADK agent. Let me open this. Let me move it from here. So I will just do it like this, and I will just go into my ADK, it's called agent, and in here I will just use the try with dot to open the try ID to work with this. I'm not gonna use any AI, I just like the interface of try. And let me see if I can make this thing bigger for you to see everything. So yeah, this is basically the interface, and in here you have the Python with the UV, and in here you have the packages. Right now it's using the 3.12 Python for this. And the next thing that we're going to do is to go and create a virtual environment, UV VNV, and this will create a virtual environment for us, and I will source it right now. So this is to activate the virtual environment. And the next thing that we're going to do is to create some folders in here with the code that we're going to check. And let me open again the Zen browser. Yeah, so basically this is the structure. In here I've explained everything, and in here we're just going to go and add the details that we're going to use. So I will add the Google ADK. So UV add to add it with UV, and then we are going to add the LangChain community and Tavily Python. So basically Google ADK has access to the LangChain community of tools, and from this community we're going to use Tavily to do a web search. So I will just go and run these things in there like this in here. Okay, this is adding the Google ADK. I will copy the other things. I should have used this in one command. That doesn't matter, like this. Okay, so right now I've added all the 3 packages that we're going to need for this. Of course, they added other dependencies that they also need to function. And let's see the next thing in here. Okay. And then we're going to create our environment file with the details. So basically for this, we're just going to go, and in here I will create a new file, should be in the root. And for this, you are going to need to add these 3 things right now for this. So basically, Google Gemini use Vertex AI. This should be false because we're going to use the Google AI Studio. In here you put the Google API key, Tavily API key. So again, to create all of these things, it's quite easy. Let me move this. And in here you will have the details. So okay, for Tavily in here you just need to log in. And in here you will have the API keys. For this you have like 1000 credit a month that you can use for free. And in here you have the API key. I will not show you the API key, but you can add as many API keys as you want. I've just copied this key, and in here in the studio you have the API keys in this area. You just need to go and add an API key like this in here. So let me go and create all the configurations for this. I will not show you what I have in there because I don't want to delete them. I will just put everything and close it. Okay, so right now I have the environment set up, and the next things that we should do, let me do it like this. Okay, let me open again the article. Okay, I've set all of these things, and the next thing that we are going to do is to create an agent module. So basically I want to have everything under an agent module file to have more structure like this. I'll create a folder with agent modules. In here we are gonna create the init file that will have the agent initialization for this. Let's see this one, init, and we are going to import that new file in here like this. Let me add the other thing. Okay, no, I don't want to install anything. Okay, let me import this thing in there. Okay, so what this thing will do, it will just import the agent in the init file, and in here we're going to create a second file. Basically that will be the one that will have our agent, and this one is called agent.py. I will copy the agent and we are going to discuss it. Okay, let me create a new file, agent.py, like this. And in here what it's happening, you are importing from Google ADK agent, the agent, and in here we'll have a root agent called agent. Like this, you are defining everything. You see in their documentation, you are assigning a name, you are assigning a model to them. I'm gonna use Gemini 2.0 Flash experimental for this, but you can use 2.5 if you need something more powerful. In here we have the description, and you have the instruction and friendly helpful agent, and in here we have the tools. Right now we don't have any tool, and in here we just print this to see that the agent is defined. We are not going to run it with Python. We are going to use their UI for this. You are going to see it's quite nice. It's like a powerful UI that can be used. And right now we have everything set up in here, and we should go and run this. So you see in here that I've explained everything, and in here you have some options to run it with their ADK provider. So you have the ADK web that will gonna run a web interface, or you have the options to add ADK run and agent module, the name of the file. I'm gonna use ADK web for this, and we're going to choose the file from there so you can see. So let me open again this, and in here in the terminal I will run the ADK web. And this should start a web server for us with their UI. At least this is what happened during my test. And in here, let me open this. I will not preview it in here because I want to show you all the nice details. Let me add something new. Okay, and this is their UI. Let me make it bigger. And yeah, I mean, this is nice. And in here you have the option to select an agent, and it will see our agent module by default. And in here you see that you have like a nice UI with events, states, artifact session, eval. I didn't play around with everything. You have the options to add an attachment. You have the options to use the microphone, to use the camera. You have the options to see the token streaming. You have the option to add a new session in here if you want. But in here right now, you can just chat with your agent. Who are you? Okay, and you see that you have the response. And right now we can ask him create a Python function. I mean, I'm just asking it something so you can see. So you see in here that you have the response. This is quite fast because it's using Google. You see that the responses are instantaneous. And in here in the terminal, you see that you have all the communications that happen in there with the number of tokens and everything, and the responses. So this UI is quite nice, and it provides a better way to chat with your agents. Of course, you can use the terminal. We're going to see that in the last example. And then we're going to go and check and see what are the other things that I have in there. Okay. The other things, or the next thing that we're going to do is to add memory in there, and in here you will need to import some of the things, and you will need to define the application name for this with a service in memory. Here it's just a print, and in here you are initiating the session with the details, and yeah, in here you have the session service that is gonna be used with the details, with the in memory. So like this it's working. So I'll just copy this. Let me put first the imports for this. So let me import this. Let me put it just before like this. So I'm importing right now the sessions and the runner for this. And then we're going to go and add the other things like this. And I will add them after this, after the agent. Okay. And yeah, so right now we have the agent, and then you have the app name and the session, and then you have the runner that we are going to be used. Okay, I've saved everything. I will just stop this because I didn't test it to see if it's pulling the changes. We're going to test it after to see if the changes are, let's say, live. And we're going to open again this and check the agent, and I will say, hello, I am Dragos, who are you? Okay, hello Dragos, okay, who I said I was. You said you were Dragos, like this. So you see that right now it's having memory, so you can chat with him as long as you want. Tell me the capital of Italy. Okay, it's Rome. Tell me the capital of Romania. Who I was. Again, I'll ask him. You said you were Dragos. So you see that memory is activated right now, and the conversation are stored in memory, and you can access the memory easily. Okay, next. Okay, the state in tools, and in here we're going to add the memory for tools also when we're going to use the tools like this. So you need to import the tool context. So this is to keep the memory also in case you plan to use tools. Like this. Okay. Then we're going to go and define this. Remember something. This is the remember class for tools. I'll just paste it in here. We're not going to use it right now because we're not using actually any tools. In here we're going to use a tool. Right now we're going to use that Tavli search thing. Okay, and right now, Tavily, so we already installed the LangChain and Tavily Python. I just let it in here. I already set up the Tavily API key for this. And in here to access this, you need to import all of the things like this. I mean, the UV, when I've created the environment, it loaded everything into the environment variables. That's why you don't need it to load them before. UV, it's quite smart. And in here, let's import these things. Okay, let me put it like this. Okay, and right now we have the LangChain tool from tools and LangChain community tools, and we're importing the Tavily search results. So this way you are telling the AI what tools to use. And right now we're just go to and check our next things, and in here to use the tool we're just going to create the tool like this Tavily search tool from Tavily search results with max results, include answer, a Tavily tool. Basically this will initiate the tool, and I will just add this thing in there, and then we'll need to modify the agent to be able to use this tool, and we're going to see that. Okay, let me define the tool before the agent to not have problems. So right now the tool is defined, and then we're going to modify our agent, and our agent basically you have this add Tavily tool to be able to work with the tool. The runner it will remain the same, but we're going to initiate the agent. In here I placed another flash thing for mistake. We're going to change that. Let me copy this. I'll modify also the article, and in here you have the agent with this. Let me paste this, and I will just modify the model like this. Okay, I will close the agent. Okay, close this. And let me pulse also this definition above. With the tools section. Okay, so right now we've created the tool. We modified the agent to use the tool. Like this, I don't think I've added memory to this tool in here. Let me check. Because basically this is all the code for this. And you need to add the remember things to have the tool to remember everything. Because right now we will not use the remember something. Okay. Okay, and right now this should work. Let's see. If not, I'll just copy the complete code from here. Let me create a new session. Like give me the latest news from tech in April 2025. Let's see. Okay, doesn't seems to work. Let me stop this and start it again, because maybe I made a mistake in the code. Let me copy the complete code from the article. Basically, this is just same thing, is just adding an options to work with it in the terminal if you run it like this. Like this. So in here you see that I'm just importing some of the tools. You have the same tool, Tavily Search, and it's loading and checking the API keys for this. It's doing the remember something things. You have the Tavily Search tool in here, and then you have the agent with Flash experimental. In here you have you have the session in here, and the create session in this area, runner instance. So yeah, you have everything defined, and also this is the code to run it directly from the terminal. And in here I've added some extra checks that you can do in case it doesn't find the package to install it. Okay, so right now these things should be okay. Let me open it again like this, and then we should go and do another thing like this, another 0. Okay, we select our agent. Again, we are going to ask what are the latest news in tech, April 2025. And okay, that's strange. Let's see the error. Okay. It doesn't like, I guess, the model. Let me put it like this. Let's see if this one is better. I guess that was the problem before. I will create just a new session. So you see that right now the requests are working. So that's the problem with that free things. It doesn't let you do a lot of things. But yeah, if you're using the paid one, you see that it's working okay. So yeah, so right now we see that we're browsing the internet with this thing. And the other thing that you can do is to run it from the terminal. If you want, you just run it in there. But yeah, I mean, it's not that exciting. What we're gonna do next, we're going to go and check the OpenRouter with LiteLLM integration and things like that. So basically, if we're going to check their documentation in here in models, in the agent models, you're gonna see that you can use this with any model you want through the help of the LiteLLM. So basically you just need to install LiteLLM. You are putting the API keys for what model you are wanting in there, Anthropic, OpenAI or others. And in here you are putting the model like this. And for this I am just trying to run this with OpenRouter. You have some powerful free models also in there that can be used. You can use also Llama for this if you want to serve off everything locally. So basically, right now, let's go and use the OpenRouter. We're going to use Quasar Alpha for this because it's quite powerful. In here I have some things that I've created. And again, you're gonna need to add the OpenRouter API key for this. Google API key is not really needed. Tavily API key if you want to search the internet, but we need the LiteLLM, so we're going to add this LiteLLM in there right now. So this, it's quite simple to do. I'll just go UV add light LLM, and this where we'll go and install the light LLM for us. So right now the light LLM is installed. The env it has the details with the OpenRouter API key. If you don't know, you can go in here and in keys you can create API keys for you and use the OpenRouter models. And then let's go and see. So you need to import the light LLM. So in here you have the from Google ADK models, light LLM, import light LLM. So we're going to import light LLM for this. I'm just going to add this in the header. Let me put it at the end. So light LLM is important right now. We're going to modify our agent to use this light LLM. Let me go and check this. So in here basically what the agent it will do, it will have the same name and the model. You're just adding the light LLM in here like this with the model, and this is the OpenRouter Quasar Alpha. So basically you need to add an OpenRouter before the model that you are seeing in there in the OpenRouter UI. So basically if we're going to check the Quasar thing, in here you see that you have the OpenRouter Quasar Alpha, but to make it work with light LLM and this you need to add another OpenRouter in here for him to know. And in here I have the API base, so basically I'm telling it to use the API of OpenRouter like this. So basically this is the only things that you need to modify, and let me just copy this model for you to see. Okay, and in here I will just go to the model in here, so to 0 flash. Okay, and I will just copy this. So right now the light LLM it's used and the OpenRouter API key it's there, and this thing should work. If we're going to ADK web again to have that nice interface, we're going to see that this should work, hopefully. Who are you? What model are you using? And right now this it's more slow because it's working with OpenRouter, OpenAI. Okay, what model? Let's see. Okay, it seems like GPT-4 for this, but actually in here you see that it's using the OpenRouter Quasar Alpha behind the scene and it's calculating the cost and everything. So yeah, right now you created your first agent, you've integrated light LLM, and you did some interesting things, I think, with the new ADK from Google. I mean, I will try it some more in the next days, weeks to see how it's working, because yeah, it looks nice. It has also that agent-to-agent protocol that can be like a game changer in the future. You have MCPs that can be used and things like that. So yeah, I am just going to use this more and more to see if it's good and it's doing a good job. And yeah, thanks for watching, and in case you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.